Hi, Billy the Artist here. We have some Doctor Who drawings, and how to draw a Dalek was a very simple one, just using the shapes. But today we're going to do how to draw the Tardis, the Doctor's time-travelling machine, which is wonderful. But as well as the Dalek, there are these time lapses of Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman, the Doctor and his assistant, Clara Oswald, in the new season of Doctor Who. Hope you're enjoying it. It's all fun and merriment, isn't it? But all the techniques that I show in my how to draw videos, link at the end, it'll take you to the playlist on how to draw, is what I've developed over the years, and that's what I use to do these. And you'll see from these drawings the time lapses from start to finish. So check out these videos and you'll see, doing a very long drawing, how you can actually produce some very, very, very detailed art. But I do these how to draw ones like the Dalek very quickly, just to encourage you and help you to see how it all starts and how it builds up using simple shapes. So check out that video and do like and subscribe for more future stuff. But today is a technical lesson on using a ruler. We are going to use 2-point perspective. So we'll get in straight away. So I've divided this up into 4, but there's 3 that I want to show you straight away. I'm going to draw a line down the bottom, and I'm going to do one in the middle, and I'm going to do one quite near the top. And these are called horizon lines. So there we have your horizon lines, and that's the line that you see in the distance in the horizon, that where like the buildings end or a field ends, or you might see mountains or something like that. Or if you're up in a plane flying, you will see the edge of the earth. Or if you're on a boat, it's the line where the sky meets the sea. So these horizon lines, we've got a low one, a low, a middle, and a high. And we're going to use 2-point perspective. So I'm just going to put 2 crosses on. And this is where you can discover simple techniques. So using a ruler, and I'll put a mark there for now, and using a ruler, in fact I'll use my red pen so you can see. If you draw a line from there through to there, oops, there goes my paper, my masking tape is not working very well, and then you draw a line straight up, you can then, if you put a mark there and you draw a line down, you can see how you've got 2 points, point 1 and point 2, and they allow you, and you can use this to draw a TARDIS, and we'll do a big one in a moment, but you can, this is how you can draw buildings. So then if you draw some black lines on very quickly, you can see how you can create a building. And where you place the horizon line will determine, and this is, people like Leonardo da Vinci worked all of this stuff out. Artists back in the Renaissance figured perspective out and using these points. And this is how you can do complex buildings and complex lines. So you can put any line on you want, and you know that everything will work in place. And this is how we're going to draw the TARDIS. So again, I'll put a little point there, and I'll use the red line. This is the middle, so this is more going to have the top and the bottom about the same. So then if we draw the box, so you've got a middle perspective, and you can put the lines on as wherever you want. You know, just experiment with this to create buildings and boxes and shapes, and you'll see how simple using a ruler can determine how to do different points of interest. And it just means this time I'll do one to there, because this is a high horizon line. So we've got, oh, hang on, I haven't drawn my line down because you need the point. But the 2-point perspective gives you the right lines and the right angles so that you can, on this one I'll draw very quickly a number of lines so that, imagine they are going up all the way. In fact, we'll just do it to there on that one. And so here on that line you've got, and I'll just shade that in quickly, you can see we've got the top of a building, but then you put a point on there and go to your vanishing point. You can imagine the line going all the way through, but you just darken up that one, and then top of that building, and then you can have an even lower building there. That one can be at the top again, and then from this point, if you connect that to each of those two and then connect where that joins on there, you can see how, if I shade that in, you can see how you can create buildings with different rooftops, but it's all in exact perspective. So now we shall get to the real job of doing the TARDIS. So for this I'll go for a 2/3 at the top. So imagine kind of splitting your page into thirds. So I'm just going to put a horizon line in about a third of the way. You can measure it if you want. This is an A3 piece of paper, so it's 297mm, so if you want, just shovel it over so you've got the 30 and just over, and then just put a mark on where the 20 is. See, that mark was quite close, and we'll just whack a horizon line in. So we've put that in quite faintly, and I'm going to put my marks point 1 and point 2, and then if I draw a line up, and I'll put a mark there and a mark there, and then this will allow us to get the TARDIS in. You'll see how, using the 2-point perspective, so there we've got two huge triangles with the line going up, but we know we want the TARDIS in perspective, so I'll put the lines on there and I'll draw down. There we have the box shape. Straight away you can see that I have the shape of the TARDIS in on, looking quite good already, because that's just a very, very simple box. So even in the how to draw video, the very basic how to draw video, having and starting with a box, you can see now using 2-point perspectives how you can get buildings and shapes like the TARDIS in, all looking correct, and you can put buildings around behind the back. But here we have the basic shape of the TARDIS. Now you could even draw going through the back, so you'd know where the back of the TARDIS is. If you draw a faint line in from that corner to your vanishing point number 1, and from that corner to vanishing point number 2, you'll find if you then draw a vertical down in the back, and then you draw from vanishing point 1 to this corner faintly, and then you draw from this corner to vanishing point 2, that the back actually joins. So your 2-point perspective means you are getting, even though you might think, oh, that looks a bit strange, or you might think it's wrong, you're actually seeing how you're constructing correctly a box in perspective that you can put in a landscape, which is our TARDIS. So now I'm going to carry on using, and you're going to see how, using the vanishing points, So just focus on this area and you'll see the TARDIS appear. So the TARDIS has a bit of a footplate kind of going out. So I'll draw the diagonal out where the footplate goes first, and then that comes down, and then it's going to have all the way down to the bottom. And this is all done just using a ruler. So it just means that every single line is in perspective. So now we'll put the box on at the top where it says police box. So we'll just kind of roughly guess nicely, and you can even have the bit underneath, and then you need the bit at the top, and then you've got your vertical line where it says police box. So now we need the vertical parts that are going to be the edges of the TARDIS where the doors are, and you can draw those down, and that's the edge, and this is the edge for the right hand side where the door is. And again, extend those lines up for the police call box, and you can get the box on the side where it will say police call box as well, and we'll pop that on. We need about the centre, so we're going to need a centre line in there for the doors, and we draw the vertical line down, and then you've got your centre line, and we're going to need the 4 squares. Now again, very neatly and simply, you need to just measure. So from there to there, that's quite handy, is 16 centimetres. Didn't mean that, that's just how it works. It just makes the maths easy. So we've got 4 boxes that need to go in either side. So if I just put a little mark on 4, 8 and 12, I know that that's going to be down to 16. But either side of them, we need the kind of space on the wood. So if I just go either side a few millimetres, all about the same size, and I then go to that line and draw faint lines on all the way to my vanishing point, I'm going to get the horizontal lines on the front of the call box of the TARDIS. And so here you're seeing just using a ruler is bringing everything in place. So you've got all the lines that go through. I need one at the top, above the windows, and you can do this with maths if you want, or you can just guess. Now I know that inside there's going to be the spaces where the windows are and the wooden panels. So if I just put those on, I know that I don't need those lines to go down all the way, but if you do them faintly, you can run the lines down and just make it, and then you can darken them afterwards. You just make it so you've got all your construction lines in place, and it makes the drawing the TARDIS very, very simply. You can always remember, use a rub-it and erase out all your construction lines. So now the bottom 3 are wooden panels, and you don't need to go over. I'll just mark where I don't want to go over with a slightly darker dot, and then put the side of the wood that you can see, and then there's just going to be one line on this side, and then need the same for the windows, but there's going to be windows in those, so that'll look a little bit different in a moment, because that's going to need 2 lines of 3 windows. So this is the inside of the wood, again going down, and this is great, just using 2-point perspective doing this as a technical exercise means you can produce stuff. If you go right to the edge where those lines go as well, you'll actually find that you can then go to your point 2, where your second point will give you the angle, all the angles that you need for the squares on the outside of the TARDIS. And again, just you need a centre line. There's no door on, there's only a door on the front of the TARDIS, so if we bob the centre line and then just go down, I'm just going to do this quick so that you can see how simple it is to make a very, very, very sharp looking TARDIS. And this is all technical drawing basics. A lot of technical drawing now for companies is done using computer software, computer aided design, CAD CAM it's called, I think nowadays. But all engineering, you know, whether you've got a smartphone or a computer, was originally done by hand using pencils and rulers, set squares. You know, if you've got a set of protractor and compasses with a 45 degree and a 60 degree and 30 degree angle, a set of protractors and set squares, that's what was used to create architectural drawings, engineering drawings. Now here you go, just following the construction lines that you've got. Here you have all the boxes on the TARDIS. Now again, on there you can just put the door handle and then the little key. Using in the third one up on the left hand side, you can put another in perspective box in, and that's all the wording where it says it's free to call the police for the use of the public. Pull to open. That is the telephone. You know, you can just put squiggly lines on if you want for the text, and that'll make it look quite good. But now all we need is some extra lines for the window. And again, I'm just guessing because it's easy to put thirds, but you can just put little marks on. Again, just put one mark on for the centre line one, and you can go right the way through. Put one on the end. Again, you've got one there, and you can put the underneath of the frame. Again, you've got your centre line now, so you know that your window, because you've gone to the corner edge on your 2-point perspective, your windows on the side are going to be spot on. Again, I'll just put 2 little marks, split it into thirds, just rough. You know, you don't have to do maths all the time. And there you've got your windows in on your TARDIS. So now we've got the steps on the top, so I'm just going to lift that up a bit, and it's just inside that high line. Go from point 1 and then you go up to the top and then down to point 2, and then the next level tier goes right the way up. And down, and then you just need right on the top above the window the lantern so people can see, and then you just put a nice curve with a point on the top, and then the little windows go in. And all that's missing now is you want to write in police box. Again, this is white type on black, so if you filled it in with black you could use a white bit of paint. Public call box. Now again, even for that you could, if you wanted to, put a construction line in first. I'll do it on this one so you see very quickly. I'll just put a light construction line in place so you can see where the text needs to go, and then you can put police, and that way your text is going to fit in the right direction as well. Put a top and a bottom one in, if you start where your P is and go down, and then you know, like doing handwriting exercises, when you first started doing handwriting, and that's not going to disappear. So there you have, very quickly, the TARDIS using 2-point perspective. That's how simple it is. And remember, you can have middle horizon line, you can have a low horizon line or a high horizon line, and that's how simple it is. But using a ruler is a valid drawing implement, and you can now colour that in. You can colour that in with pencil crayons, you can get the blue out and you can do your own TARDIS. You can then rub out your construction lines around the side so you just got the whole of the TARDIS, and you can put your own landscape in, you can put your Dalek in. You could draw a Dalek in quite happily attacking the TARDIS. Experiment with 2-point perspective because it will give you a lot of possibilities. But anyway, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this very quick lesson on 2-point perspective, and enjoy your drawing. Please do like and subscribe, and I look forward to you seeing some new how to draw videos in the future. Thanks very much. Ta-da.